It's me you guide. Rely on yourself and no way. Believe.
All right. You know what time it is. Welcome in. Welcome in. Today is technically Friday because tomorrow morning I am unavailable. But we'll be back come Monday, God willing. And for our Zoom on Sunday as well. However, today is not necessarily about the individual that we'll be listening to. It is more the concept behind what he's talking about and how it has become commonplace now for people to say what he is saying and to believe what he believes without any scriptural backing whatsoever, which is kind of weird. Now, we're going to be talking about talking to the dead. Again, not a Bible scholar, I'm a dummy. So that's why I ask more than I say. Can anyone point out to me outside of the Samuel Saul situation? Can anyone point out to me an inference in the Bible where a dead individual appears to somebody, and I don't mean Jesus, and gives them something akin to what people have been espousing today? Can anyone show me a spot where that has happened? I'd really like to know. Um, I may have missed it, obviously, because I know I'm a slow one. Richie should know. Please let me know if I'm just mistaken. I don't recall. I don't recall a dead person showing up, uh, having these um, conversations with people, um, whether that be in dreams or visions. Please just help a brother out because I feel a little lost. I feel mentally like I should have come across it by now. should, should have come across it by now. But I don't think I okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So I'm not sure where they're getting these visitations from. Okay. But we're gonna listen to what he has to say and who visits him. That's the best part of it's who visits him. Oh good Lord. Anyway, here we go.
Like or a sermon series could be pragmatic, you know. And there's different styles to different messages, and there's narratives, as in is you start with the surprise, and then you build tension, and then you wrap it up with a concluding statement. That's a narrative form of storytelling preaching, a narrative method. And then there's a visionary preaching style that actually paints a picture, paints a word picture, and brings the listener into the encounter in, like, hey, let's all go down my little road together. You know what I mean? And enter into this story. And then there's interrogative, which is like to sing a song and do like a, you know, some people actually preach and sing like Kim Clement, the prophet. He would sing his message. You know what I mean? And he would prophesy, and who is, by the way, incredibly accurate. He's with Jesus, but he did prophesy some things 10 years ago that are happening over the past few years, and just we honor the prophet in heaven in this.
We honor the prophet in heaven. I don't recall that particular thing being asked of us. Does it again? Look, today today is going to be the day to educate the dummy. Because again, I don't recall none of this stuff. It's been forever, but I honor the prophets in I'm just curious. Anyway, back that up real quick.
Honor the prophet in heaven in this place. It's very strange. You know, I had an encounter with God, and 3 prophets appeared in my living room. I didn't see them.
I just want you to I want people to just listen, because man, when I say I'm lost for words, if something appears to you in your living room, wouldn't that mean you saw it? Anyway, back it up again.
I had an encounter with God, and 3 prophets appeared in my living room. I didn't see them, just so I can be clear about this. But I heard their audible voice.
Oh,
I've never heard the audible voice of God, but I've heard the audible voice of 3 different prophets in my living room at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, Lord, this is very strange. You're freaking me out here.
you know, if people would but use their ears and listen to the things people say, like really listen, I think we would be far less likely to give these people the kind of attention they've been getting. He's never heard the audible word of the voice of God, but he has heard the audible voice of prophets, 3 in particular. I know 2 that he mentioned, Kim Clement and another guy, an older dude, some old dead dude. I forget his name now. John something or the other. Let me see if I wrote it down. Maybe I wrote it down. But you know me, I probably didn't write it down. He might end up saying it anyway, but I did not write it down. So let's see if he says who that person is.
But Bob Jones said something to me that
Bob Jones. There it is. Bob Jones. Bob Jones showed up in his auditory system to talk to him.
Don't know what it was. I mean, well, I do know I don't know what it means.
Anyway, I'm going to back that up.
At like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, Lord, this is very strange. You're freaking me out here. But Bob Jones said something to me that I don't know what it was. I mean, well, I do know I don't know what it means.
Yeah, of course, yes.
But I'm not allowed to tell you until I figure out what it means.
But you just told us. These people, bro. Like, you know full well you didn't have no encounter with nobody, bro. Come on, man.
It's been about 5 years, and I still don't know what it means.
So wait. You had a visitation from God and 3 prophets. God and 3 prophets. That's what I heard. Is that God and 3 prophets? So not only were the 3 there, God was there too. I just want to make sure I heard correctly. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. I've been having problems. I can be honest with you. I've been having problems lately. And here's a problem I've been having. I've been having a problem with my hearing. Yeah. It's been a bad problem too, because I keep thinking I hear stuff, but I find later I didn't hear it, or I did hear it, but I couldn't believe I heard it. So it must be something with me. But did he say it was God and three? Okay. So God shows up. These three guys show up. Bob Jones tells you something that you still haven't figured out to this day. And God let him tell you something so confusing that it's taken you 5 years to figure out. And you still can't figure it out. And it's for the body, but you got to figure it out first before the body gets it. You tell the body that I hear something I don't understand and I'm waiting to find out. And I can't tell you about it until I figure it out. From a dead dude. Why do people play with God like this? Like, honestly, listen. I I get the appeal to say you know something more than somebody else, or you have some special connections. I get that everybody wants to be different, special, like stand apart. But why in God's house you gonna play that game? Like I could see that like in government. I could see that in the business. I could see that in many places, but with God, y'all, why him? Why y'all choose to play to play in his face? Like that don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense. And if you are receiving visits like this, him, please, that don't sound like God was there. It doesn't sound to me that what your encounter was had anything to do with God. It had a lot to do with you getting something to hand to people that you still can't give them. But it sounded like you put that story in there simply because you mentioned somebody's name, and to give credentials to yourself, you figured you said, but I met him in the spirit. He's dead, but I met him. I just don't understand. Hey, y'all, I've been forever, girl. Where you been? I ain't seen you in a hot minute. Unless you've been in the chat and ain't saying nothing and I missed it, but I ain't seen you in a bit. Good, welcome back. Welcome back if you haven't been back, and welcome again if I missed you before. It has become a normal thing now to say that you get dead people coming to you. I mean, look at Candace, right? Now dead dudes coming to her to tell her all kinds of things about her future, and to administer to her some information about how they died. I was betrayed. Avenge me. Now God's all kind of popping up with these spirits just coming in to talk and chill and hang with people. How? I really want to know where and it's not just this guy. He's not the only one. If they're not having visitations from dead people, they're in heaven. These people are literally taking vacation trips to heaven every other day, going and sitting down with God himself and chilling with him, seeing him face to face, which I don't know how they're pulling that off, talking to Jesus about when he coming back, getting all these revelations from him. How do people feel this free? And better yet, how do people feel okay listening to these people? Remember I told you that reverence for God is a missing thing now? It's a missing thing. It's a missing thing. Who is he anyway? Who's he? He's just another thing that works for me. That's all they see him as. God is simply just another entity that's just out there, and I get to, use him once in a while for whatever I want. And I don't really have any true respect for him, but a lot of people do. So I'm going to use his name for whatever I want. When the Bible talks about the giving ear to deceiving spirits, I have to start wondering if this is what part of it is. I have to think that this might be part of what it's talking about. I don't know for a fact, but I there's no way you can tell me that's not a deceiving spirit. You can't. You cannot tell me that's not a deceiving spirit. What spirit shows up to you and you're honoring a prophet in heaven? I don't know where you got that idea from, first off. But let's say you decided that's what you're going to do. You're going to honor some prophet in heaven. And this prophet shows up to you in a dream with God alongside him and gives you some vague something to think about and leaves you for 5 years without an answer. And this is supposed to be for the body. Imagine 5 years worth of time that they can't get back. That supposedly 3 great prophets sitting alongside God showed up to talk to you, give you some grand word of wisdom, and you can't figure it out. But they chose you to show up to? I'll say it. Those are the most stupid prophets ever. If those 3 morons showed up to your doorstep in your house at 4 o'clock in the morning and told you something so ridiculous that you can't even figure out, they are retarded. They're dead and retarded. And that's a combination I have never heard of before. How do you pull that off? How? And how do y'all feel good lying on God like that? It couldn't possibly be for the body, for the edification, if God's withholding this edification from them. But he told you what it was about. You can't figure it out, but you felt the need to let the congregation know, I can't figure it out. In some ways, I'll take 500, something that didn't happen. For 500, something that didn't happen, I will take that. Because I highly doubt that happened. Now, the Bob Jones he's talking about, in case, I'm sure most of you know who Kim Clement is, and he made that whole Donald Trump 2-term prophecy thing. This is Bob Jones. Heavenly visions and 1 billion youth. Okay.
On August 8th of 75, the Lord had given me some prophecies, and I began to bring them, and I was told by an evil spirit if I kept bringing them that he'd take my life.
Oh, Lord. You know, God gave you prophecies. God gave you a prophecy, and you were going. And then an evil spirit told you, if you keep saying that prophecy, I'm going to have to kill you, boy. Now listen here, son. You're going to stop doing them prophecies or else we going to have some problems. Yeah. I'm going to find you. And when I find you, I'm going to end your life. So you better stop doing them prophecies, boy. I don't care what your God told you, but you better stop them prophecies. I'm an evil spirit now. I could touch you. Now I'll touch you real good to where you ain't gonna never prophesy no more. How you gonna be a whole prophet and got evil spirits talking to you, bro? Like for real. How you gonna be that? I'm gonna find you. I want to know what else that evil spirit told you.
I didn't believe him, but he did.
He killed you? wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Pause. I'm gonna kill you, boy. And that's just what I did. I killed him. I killed him good in 75. But that coming, he came back. I couldn't get him no deader. I tried to get him deader, but I couldn't do it. All them prophecies was just floating out of him. I couldn't stop them prophecies. Oh, Lord. Did I hear? Did he just say the evil spirit did it? Did it? I hope he ain't saying that a spirit killed him and he came back.
So I went to the Lord in death. And as I come close to the Lord, I saw that all the people that was in our line, he asked them only one word: did you learn to love?
So God gave you prophecies to tell people. He didn't warn you that you would die if you did it. No, he just told you, prophesy. And then an evil spirit came and said, if you don't stop prophesying, I'm going to kill you. And the evil spirit killed you. And you went to him and you talked to Jesus and you was in a line. And the only thing he said was, did you learn to love? I'm assuming he sent you back because you didn't learn to love, or why? Why did he send you back? Please tell me.
I saw that about 2% of all humanity was in the line I was in. There was 98% that was in another line that was wrapped up in their gods, because we're going to spend eternity with our gods. And if Jesus Christ is our God, we'll spend eternity with him.
Okay.
So as I stood before him, and I was getting ready to tell him, yes, Lord, because he only asked you, did you learn to love? And I was going to tell him I had, but he said, I want you to go back. And I told him I didn't really want to. But he said, go back, because I'm going to bring 1 billion souls into myself in one great wave. And I want you to touch a few of the leaders that I'm going to use in that time. And I told him, I'll go back for souls. But he did show me parts in heaven. And we've got 5 senses. In heaven, all 5 senses are beyond anything that I can tell you. For there are fruit there that you can bite into. And the nectar is as sweet and as enjoyable. There's nothing that I could ever compare on earth. sound there. Everything that makes a sound there makes praise. The wind blowing through the trees is praise. The rippling waters is praise. There's songbirds is praise in there all the time. You can hear the songs of praise. Your eyes sees nothing but beauty there.
I think that's enough of that brain rot. Don't do drugs, okay? I'm just going to give some little advice to the youth out there. Please, psychedelics are not the way to go. I think you can have a much better life if you don't mess with psychedelics. Psychedelics can make you believe things that are not there, like possibly eating some random fruit when you're actually eating garbage. I don't know, but this guy seems to say he has been to heaven, had a conversation with Jesus. Jesus said, you know what? You need to go back. I don't want you here. I got stuff to do with you, so go back down there. Like he just couldn't stop him from dying to begin with. Nope. Nope. You had to get killed by an evil spirit to be sent to heaven for Jesus to say, go back and do the billion soul thing. But this time, the word, the evil spirit ain't going to kill you this time. You're going to live till you're old to see a billion youth. Go. People, please listen. Listen carefully. Now, the Spirit expressly says that in the latter times, some will depart from the faith, giving heeds to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their own conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from foods which God created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and know the truth. I think that doctrine of demons is going to be more and more prevalent in these last days of your life. I'm not saying of Earth's presence, just your life. You're going to see a lot more of it. The longer you stay connected to Christ, you're going to start seeing it in more places than you thought it was existing. The common pulpit will show you that that's a lot of what they do. The common pulpit is now home to a bunch of people that all they do is psychologize God. They'll tell you about somebody named God. They'll tell you their interactions with him, and then have you base your faith on what they have gone through that they've told you. You'll hear them give anecdotal statements about themselves, and they'll encourage the audience to give money in order to have the same experience. You'll hear them go on tirades about how they visited multiple places in heaven. Some even go to the second and third heaven. Some go down even into hell, have a conversation with the devil and come right back out. Some will tell you that they've sit down and talk to God face to face, and he gave them a word, and he's going to come back and tell you the word, and the word is not anything that you can find anywhere. They'll tell you about all the stuff that they want to accomplish, but they can't accomplish it without you doing something for. It is never going to be about you initiating contact with God through salvation and remaining. It won't be that. That's too simple. It is too easy to just say you believe and then follow. That is too simple, even though he told you it's supposed to be that simple. But we don't like listening to what he says, just to be honest, right? Today, people don't want to read and believe. They read and then they say, well, but maybe, what if? Because what is actually said is too difficult for them to embrace, because it means letting go of some things that they really, really like. They really like it. Christianity today, unfortunately, at least what the world calls Christianity and what they've been putting out there as Christianity, has very little to do with Christ. Has a lot to do with traditions, a lot to do with um, the extravagant fanfare, over the top, flamboyant, unbelievable, even downright crazy. That's what it has to do now. It's either swinging a pendulum between getting lots and lots of money or always going to heaven and coming back. In none of it do they emphasize the relationship. Not once. They definitely don't emphasize the fact that you are inconsequential. They don't ever emphasize the fact that you are nothing before him. Because that would mean that self-worth takes a flying leap. Self has to go away. And we all know most people love them some self. Can't get enough of that self. That self is amazing. They love that stuff. Man, what? Don't you know what I have to offer? The Lord knows I can do what I can do, and I and me and I. And it is indeed a statement of where we are as a people when not even God's word is sufficient to the task of following God by his word. That is some mad, mad stuff. That's mad stuff. All these prophets and all these apostles that can do more than everybody else, like Gino says, It just doesn't make any sense, but it does make sense because he did tell you exactly what was going to happen. He told you that this was going to take place, and it's taking place. So we shouldn't be surprised. Yet it does surprise us because we kind of hope. We kind of hope that it won't be that way, but it is. It is this way. It is going to get increasingly more difficult to find like people who are going to stay true to the word. It's going to get more and more difficult. And you're going to become more and more ostracized because more and more people are going to gravitate to fanfare and to the extravagant and to what they can get and how they can show out. That's what they're going to gravitate to. They will not gravitate to a simple, God-abiding, following relationship. They don't. That's too minimal. You have to speak in 15 different kinds of tongues. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to. And if you don't, you ain't this and you ain't that. It can't be simple. Can't be simple. Simple is inadequate to the task. If I were to leave you with any information at all, it's to be simple. It is called a simple gospel. It is simple. His yoke is easy, burden light. He's never told you it was going to be this kind of a convoluted. In fact, he told you he chose the foolishness of this world to confound the wise. So why are you looking for this to be rocket science? Why must this be brain surgery when he told you that's not what this is? It is pretty stinking simple, but many don't want it because of how simple it is, and it does not give them any kudos or brownie points. The path to Christ removes you as the main character and puts him there. And therein lies the problem with people. People want to be seen for what they can do, even if it means on behalf of. I know, yes, I got to do it then. Fight that urge, people. Fight that urge. It is okay to live a humble life before Christ. It really is. It's fine. It's okay to just be. And when he decides to bring you to a position to exalt him, he'll do it. If he doesn't want you in a position to do something like that, you're content to be just abiding. Why is this hard for us to just accept? Why do we need to have conglomerations trying to choose a way that God wants when God's the one that's telling you, I'm going to pick it, I'm going to appoint, I'm the one that's going to be doing this, not you? We like the idea, I'm going to wait on the Lord, but you don't really wait on him. You're trying to make the decisions for him. Guilty. Granted, in my position, I've been doing it a lot on my behalf. I get impatient. I get worried. I get concerned. But thankfully, the body is there to remind you that you don't need to be. He is who he says he is. It's not if, he is who he says he is. And as such, that being a fact, worry should be the furthest thing from me. It's not that it won't try to show up. I don't need to entertain it. By entertaining that worry, I'm telling God you're inefficient to the task that I think you're dealing with. And he's not insufficient to that task. In fact, he's overqualified to every task. But when people don't see him as that, they go to mad lengths to create a narrative that fits the God in their mind that would raise them to the forefront. Like this guy. I'm gonna read this last piece here. And I'm going to, it's from Isaiah chapter 40. Okay, Isaiah 40. And this is where we'll start. To whom then will you liken me, or to whom shall I be equal, says the Holy One. Lift up your eyes on high and see who has created these things, who brings out their host by number. He calls them all by name. By the greatness of his might and by the strength of his power, not one is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord, and my just claim is passed over by my God? Have you not known, have you not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, never faints nor is weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, his increases strength. Even your youth shall faint and be weary, and young men shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles, and they shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. You don't need to have somebody try to embellish his dreams to you by telling you, I saw this and that and the other, to try and give you some hope of who God is. If you don't think he has done enough already to be believed in, then I fear that you're only looking for more and more exorbitant signs that you're never going to get to actually make you believe. If he hasn't done enough now, he will never do enough for you. That's just a fact. If he hasn't done enough already, he will never do enough for you. Signs and wonders are great to, flaunt, flash, but they're not the end all and be all of our journey. Our journey here is to make him more famous in our life and to have every one of our decisions run through him and to abide. It's that simple. I don't need to speak in tongues, but if he wants me to speak in tongues, he will. When he is ready for it to be used in whatever way he wants. I don't have to be raising the dead, but whenever he wants, if he needs to use me, he can use me to do exactly what he wants. What I need to be is a willing vessel for anything that he wants. I might want anything I could want all day long, but if my wants in my head supersede what he is wanting to give, I will never get. He cannot use the unwilling. So you decide. You decide. If you're going to look for some sort of a dead person to come talk to you, just be careful who you talk to. You want to go visit heaven? Be careful where you go. You want to say God told you and God told you? Be careful what you say in the name of God. Because every idle word, especially about him, will land you in some hot water or fire. Just wisdom. That's all I'm saying. Yes, it is a shorter one today, but I'll be back on Monday. Tomorrow morning, I have a journey to make with a piano pickup. And yeah, making sure I didn't miss anything here. So just so you know, no movement on the house front yet either. So we're still in limbo. But everything in the house is definitely failing. I'll tell you that much. Electrical is going by the wayside. It's just one thing after another, man. I am planning on covering the debacle on Monday, actually. I am planning to cover exactly what's been going on because I already gave my 2 cents on him some time back. If you hadn't seen that, in case you missed it, I can't remember how long ago I did it. Let me see if I can find it here. It's been a while. But he is on the, yeah, that's what it was. A statement of Jesus dying for the devil that Sam said. Let me see if it is what I think it is here. Either way, I have covered him before, and I'm in complete disagreement with everything that's going on with him right now. So I'll show it. I'll figure it out. I'll cover it here. But he is definitely an idiot. I'll tell you that much. As smart as he is when he talks to Muslims, he himself is just as disgusting as they are. So I don't know. He doesn't have any legs to stand on when it really comes down to it. So he's a pretty vile dude. Like he's pretty sick. Like he's got some pretty interesting issues. Some mad mental issues. Like he's definitely something isn't clicking upstairs. Something ain't clicking. He has a fascination with sexual things too, which is odd. And a very perverse connection to sexual things. Yeah. So we'll cover that Monday. Scrolling at the bottom, you know what it's for. No requirements, simply an option. Love you guys. Mean it. We'll catch you guys on Savage tomorrow afternoon. We'll have our guest, Mr. David Frank. We'll have a good conversation with him. To both sides, we dropped a couple of videos. We went live last night. We'll be going live on Friday, but we'll be dropping some videos here coming up. Keep an eye out for those. But in the meantime and in between time, wisdom calls to you from the street. So please, please, please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight the dreams, for if dreams die,